Thank you and good evening. The time is 6:04 and I'm calling to order the Groton Board of Education Policy Committee meeting and it's Tuesday, December 9th. This is a remote meeting. In attendance, we have Dr. Andrea Ackerman and myself, Mike Whitney, is chair of the policy committee. Washington is ex officio member through being chair of the Board of Education, and Adrian Johnson is here listening. He's associate chair. We also have in attendance Superintendent Austin and Assistant Superintendent Emery Mancini. So thank you all for coming. The first order of business after our call to order is the review of the minutes. The last meeting was Thursday, November 20th, and I did not attend it. So I looked at the minutes, but Andrea, if you have any issues with us or corrections, let us know.
No,
Um,
I looked at them too, and they're correct.
Great. And so, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
I'll second it, and I guess we don't really have to vote, but do you vote in favor of that?
I
And I do too, in honor of the committee. So that passes. Feels good to get a vote in early. Our third item on the agenda is discussion of the policy and I guess the regulation 6141, curriculum design and development. And as background, has gone through the Board of Education as a first reading, and so we'd be looking to move it forward with any changes for a second reading. And this a recent curriculum meeting, a committee meeting, is we talked about it too, and some of the changes and directions to go with it. But I understand Anne Marie'd like to lead the way on this one, so I'll give the floor to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. As you probably recall, this was brought forward to the policy meeting or to the policy committee on November the 20th. And when it was brought to the board about a week later, um, there was some discussion regarding the original I guess the original changes that were the original proposed changes that were brought forward to the curriculum committee. And some of the reason for that is because the original proposed changes were brought forward to the curriculum committee in early September, I believe September the 3rd. And there was no policy meeting in October. And by the time it was brought forward to the policy committee in late November. I think some of the original intent were I guess some of the changes or proposed changes maybe were miscommunicated between myself and the executive assistant that takes some of the notes. And anyway, those changes did not get communicated correctly. I'll take responsibility for that. I don't, some of these things I think were spoken about. Many of the people that are on this call or yeah, I guess you would say on this call or on this video online meeting, we've spoken about this before. We talked about them at the curriculum meeting, which took place, was it last week? And so we spoke about those changes, and I'm, bringing forward the changes that we spoke about at the curriculum meeting, and for the most part, agreed to. I guess 2/3 of us, 2/3 of the members agreed to to those changes last week, and so that's what I'd like to share with all of you tonight, um, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So the first change, and I think they're reflected on your document right now, although I noticed today that there were some minor errors, and I'd like to kind of talk about those too. The first one is correct as written.
Oh,
Number one. Yes, go ahead.
are we able to project that? I don't think I have that capability.
I'll
Kate,
grab Caitlin can. Yep,
Caitlin, would
I'll
you
grab
mind
it.
doing that for me? Thank you so
Yep.
much.
As a listener at home, I found that very helpful.
Thank you.
Is this the correct one?
Yes, that's it. Thank you so much, Caitlin. So as you can see here, maybe make it a little bit bigger.
And the changes we're going to see, I believe anything in red or green is a change relative to the current policy. It's not relative to what was presented as for a first
That's
reading.
correct. Yeah. So I don't know if this means that it goes back for a new first read. That's maybe my understanding, but I would defer to you, Mike, or maybe Chairman Washington for clarification on that.
Oh, it was approved for a first read, so I think that when it comes back, it's second read. It's just,
Okay.
I mean, we could have tracked changes from the first read version to here, but there's not a lot of changes, so I think it'd be pretty easy to explain one way or the other. And this way, what we're seeing is the changes that would be made from the existing curriculum or policy to now.
So the first one is would remain the same, presented to the superintendent or assistant superintendent for approval. The second one here, I think that the changes that are captured are correct, but I'm going to just to make sense, I'm going to recommend a minor edit. It says here, presented to the Board of Education Curriculum Committee for review and recommend. And I think, I rewatched the meeting today in my, I would say, quote unquote, free time. And
It's
really what was
Okay, bye.
what was recommended during that meeting was presented to the Board of Education Curriculum Committee for review and recommendation, period. And
right.
so that should say for review and recommendation. The edit that was suggested by you, Mike, was to remove the S at the end, not to remove it to reflect the word recommend. So that should read for review and recommendation, not recommend. So I think that just was not captured correctly by our executive assistant. I'll make sure that tomorrow that is, or when this goes forward for the full, to the full board, that is captured correctly. Number 3, under our proposed or my proposed changes would be eliminated. That is captured correctly in this version. Number 4 is captured correctly. That would remain the same.
Right.
Number 5 here is there's a minor edit that needs to be made based on again, I believe Mike, you made this recommendation. Board of Education Curriculum Committee will review and make I should say make a recommendation for board action, or make a recommendation for board for board action. And I believe Dr. Ackerman helped craft that language as well. And then number 6, which then would become number 5, curriculum is then presented to the Board of Education for final approval.
Right.
So those are the proposed changes. Really, it's one major change, which is the elimination of step 3 with some minor edits to language within the policy.
Right. Yeah.
And with those
This looks,
changes, you noted that is faithful to what was talked about in the curriculum committee at the last meeting.
Yeah,
correct.
I did rewatch it today just to make sure that all that language was correct and there were no misunderstandings like the last time.
No, this is right. Correct.
Thank you, Dr. Ackerman. Does anyone have any questions or concerns?
I was wondering, so I was this dissenting vote on removing step 3, and my reasoning was, should we have board approval at that stage? I was wondering if anyone on the committee, Andrea, really had thoughts about that, or anyone else.
Yeah, the only thoughts I had was all of the thinking that I've heard in the past, which is that the boards in the past have expressed vocally and vehemently that step 3 should be removed. It was like, why am I sitting through this again? That historically they felt that was a step that needed to be removed.
But they do want the final approval in the end, which you've
Oh,
got.
yes.
Yeah.
Bev, you've got your hand up, but feel free to speak, any of you.
Uh, Mike, I thought the reason to remove step 3 was to make the process go a little bit faster.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yes.
it certainly was. And I think
Okay.
the last time we saw the first reading, that had been changed, not presented to the committee of the whole, but presented to the full board for approval of draft and curriculum to kind of make it a little bit faster, but this would remove that step. One thing that we make recommendations or like, so number 2, we're just a committee. We're not really giving approval. We don't have the ability to. So that curriculum process, that writing process would I guess start without step 3. It would start without a true approval from the board, except in as much as we already have funds in every year's budget for curriculum development, and we'd be giving tacit approval for the superintendent, assistant superintendent to approve that process and guide that step along the way.
You know what, Mike? I know when you could get your approval, it wouldn't be an official approval, but when the curriculum committee gives their report to the full board, that's when they can fill out the full board how they feel about that curriculum. I mean, it wouldn't be an official approval, but if you see people responding and saying, "Oh no, we don't think that's good," or whatever, that would tell you not to move forward with that.
Correct, Beverly. And
Yeah.
and the thinking also was that once it got through the curriculum committee, and we said, okay, this needs to go to the board, that meant that was our approval, if you will. If we said, yeah, this needs to go forward, then that was the approval. If anybody remembers it differently, but that is what I remember.
Emery?
And if you remember, earlier this fall, we had 2 courses come forward. I believe it was in September or October. We had 2 courses come forward, and the curriculum committee expressed concern that the existing proposal document was a little bit vague. It wasn't specific. It didn't include information on the document about what the cost would be for a new course, what the budget, the writing budget would be, if there were costs for materials and things like that. So I've significantly revised that document, and I certainly could bring that. I actually could even bring it up now if you gave me a few minutes. But based on your feedback, I've revised that. It's a much more, I would say, specific form. Teachers will have to give a lot more detailed information, and I think that will give the curriculum committee a lot more detailed information to allow them to make give them a lot more to review before they make that recommendation to go forward to write the curriculum and then eventually make recommendations to the full board.
Thank you. And I also mentioned the curriculum committee meeting. I'll just mention it briefly here. This is not a policy statement, what I'm going to say. But having a teacher having to present like 2 to 3 or 4 times to committees and board, that certainly we're asking a lot for that. It's not absolutely necessary, right? I mean, at some point, Emery, for instance, could take over shepherding it through the process if you find that part of things is too much. Because right now, I think we'd be looking at a curriculum proposal and then the written curriculum 3 times. So I'm just suggesting that all 3 of those times, you don't necessarily have to have a teacher come up, depending on what it is.
I will tell you, Mike, normally under normal circumstances, I would take responsibility for that. But in the limited time that I have seen teachers come forward to the board for approval, the level of specificity that, and I think, it's not a bad thing, but the level of specificity in terms of the questions that this board asks, I would not want that responsibility because I could not answer those questions.
I found that surprising. Just kidding. Andrew, you have a question?
I just wanted to affirm now that I'm listening to Anne Marie though. I wanted to affirm what you said, that it wasn't just the board members, it was the calling out of of all of the staff members for that many meetings that was objectionable to everyone as well. And I understand what Anne Marie is saying, and certainly I would defer to her, like to her gathering whatever information that she needs in order to feel comfortable. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yes, thank you.
Okay, okay. I don't know how to put my hand down. Okay.
Oh, you can leave it up. I always do for mine. Yeah, and the other thing I just wanted to clarify, I've been thinking about like the time it takes, the long time you mentioned 18 months to get something through, but to get a course, say in the high school, actually offered so people can enroll in it, like what's our real deadline? Is it maybe February because it's got to get in the plan of studies and the scheduling, or is it March?
Well,
That's
I'll
why
give you an
I
example, Mike. So, the department head for the department chair for math, emailed me today and said, "I have a course that we would like to offer," and I immediately shot back, "What is the timeline for this?" And she said, "As soon as possible." And I said, "Not next year." Because this is something that was new to me. I hadn't heard about it before. No one had spoken to me about it. And to me, I need to know first, what is the course? What is the reason for the course? I need to know more information about that. I can't just get, in December, some information about a new course that the math department wants to offer without me having any kind of context or knowledge about, what the reason is and how it's going to fit into our program of studies or the pathways that the students are taking. And so, that's something that, as the person that's overseeing the academic program, I've got to be able to gatekeep. So, you know, that's something though that I'm capable of doing. But I guess that, that's kind of the point that I'm making. So that I think that without, I guess there might not be, like right now, I think that it's about 18 months. And so we probably wouldn't be able to get that through the process as it exists right now, in terms of the timeline. With the revised timeline, I haven't really kind of etched that out or kind of parceled that out in my brain, what that would look like, maybe. But, she and I really need to have a discussion on, how does this course fit into our plan for students? I have no idea right now. I haven't seen a proposal or what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that on the front end. I was actually also wondering about, so step 6 is curriculum is then presented to the Board of Education for final approval. There's what month of the year would the board have to vote on something to get it, like say something were coming up to be offered in the 2026-2027 school year. What if in this, like step 6 right now, that
Mhm.
final board approval, what month would that have to be done by so kids could actually enroll?
Yeah.
I was thinking it's like the end of the school year, but clearly it's got to be earlier.
No, I will tell you that the program of studies gets published in February. So they are finalizing courses, I would say, between just the month of December and January. Right now, like really right now and in January for that program to be published.
Gotcha. And so that's where that 18 months really hurts you because
Yeah.
on that long and you'd wrap around and miss basically the second February.
Right.
Right. I got you. I don't have any further questions. Anyone else have any questions or comments?
No,
No, no.
I realized I said the next order of the next item, but I never made a motion. Andrew, would you like to make a motion to recommend that policy 6141 curriculum design and development go to the full board for second reading?
no moved.
I second.
Mike, can I ask you a question? Are you in favor of eliminating step 3?
I can see its utility. Um, as long as maybe the chair, I liked your idea of the when a curriculum or a policy committee or no, a curriculum committee report that they could report out on that, and if people said pump the brakes on that, that I would think you as the chair, for instance, could send it to a Cal, like sometimes happens. And maybe that's a recommendation from the curriculum committee. It'd probably be the really larger things that would be major curriculum initiatives that have budget implications beyond development, but like new teachers and things like that. So as long as that like there's some room for the board to give feedback, the full board to give feedback when really necessary, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I
Thank you,
strongly
Mike.
opposed it as the curriculum committee member, but now I'm policy, so changing my, changing my tune.
I appreciate your flexibility.
I don't know that other guy. Any other questions or comments?
Oh, it looks good.
Okay. I'll
Someone
call
who
the
wrote this originally with Andrea. We were
I'm
the ones who
sorry.
came up with the 18 months.
So I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's none opposed or abstaining, so that passes 2-0-0. All right. Emery, do you get to leave, or are you sticking around for library?
You can leave. She's been on the road an hour and a half. I've got the information
Oh,
on
no,
the
it's
library.
almost 2.5 hours today.
2.5
Literally
hours.
got out of the car, jumped on this meeting, and so I would appreciate it if I was
Yes,
excused.
and
But if you'd
after
like,
having-
if you'd like me
No.
to keep you on in the background, that I
Yeah.
can.
Go have your dinner and relax.
Fine.
Thank you. I
Thank you very
appreciate it.
much.
Tag teaming. We do this a lot. Tag you
Yeah.
in. Tag
I
I'm in.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Good night,
Bye.
Emery.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Our next three items are all about libraries,
Library.
and they're all from scratch policies. And Bev, you tried to tell us what was going on. Susan, I think you did too. All three of these are clearly mandated by the state, almost by word. And I'll just go through. There are three of them.
All right.
There's 6.1, 6.1.12. That's library material review and reconsideration. That passed its first reading, and we'll look at that first. There's just actually, I think there's only one change, one or two changes that were requested, and I think that one's been made and one was already in there. So we'll go through that. The next two, 6161.13, library collection development and maintenance, and then 6161.14, library display and program policy. Those failed the first reading because predominantly questions, some of them raised by me, about are these necessary? And we're going to find out they are. But at the time, the question was that 6161.13 seemed like just a newer version of an existing policy that I think was 6163 that we have.
Right.
Quite good. And then the 6161.14, the last one we'll deal with, just seems like it doesn't do much other than an affirmative statement. I think that's the kind of the more or less take on it, but it's required, and that's the last part of the background I wanted to give. In each of these policies, it has the legal citations where this comes from, and it's coming, and it was mentioned in the policy committee meeting the first time, and it was mentioned, I think, and it was definitely mentioned at the board meeting, that it comes from this new Public Act number 25-168, which I think has like 700 and some pages in it. Like it's fun. It's a funding bill, and then it has some other things. I think where this library part comes from section 321, which is several pages within it, and it lays out that indeed each Board of Education for its libraries has to have policies and processes in place for each of these specifically named parts. And this is where Susan, the first policy meeting, presented this and used it from CABE templates. And the CABE templates are taking right from that wording, and the act is really specific about the elements that have to be in there. So
I also want to add that our library media specialists all reviewed this as a team, just like they did a couple years ago when we first went through the reiteration. And actually, the original ones that we already have are very similar.
they're very good,
Trying
actually.
to capture this language that's now been identified as mandated. But the librarians, I have to say, Mike, were fine with it. They said this works just as well. And it will give them guidance too. So I always wonder if this is going to help them at all for their library and their collections. And they said that it would. So, and it
Yeah, I
wasn't
think
that far different than what they had.
Yeah, it's an update, even though it's going to look like new policies, and some of them are. And then it's affirmative statements. So good. I don't know if I think we lost Andrea.
We did. We just lost her.
Oh. Hold on.
Yeah, but if you can speak, we'll see if we can get her
No.
back.
Which one are you on, Mike? Because policy 6161.2, I have written down on the policy is a time frame to consider if there's a challenge.
Yeah,
So it was not in the policy. Somebody must have brought that up.
Dean brought that up, and I can speak to that. Let's see if we get see if we can get Andrea on the phone at least.
Okay.
But I will say, so I was just
Hi, I've got you on
growing them
speakerphone
first,
with
and then now we're
everybody.
going to break them out.
Andrea's on speaker.
Hi, Andrea. Welcome.
Yeah.
They're going to set her up.
Okay. Just
But Fred
me
must
to
have
go
set
ahead. Yeah.
that up.
So, in the new court, it's the old court, and I'll talk to Beverly about this tomorrow. So as long as I'm on speaker.
You're on
Let's just
speaker.
go for-
Okay.
Okay.
We just mentioned that these the three libraries policies, the 616112, which passed first reading and is going for second reading, and the other two, 616113 and 616114, had failed, but they are mandated and the language very specific. Mike just went through that, and I also mentioned that our library media specialists reviewed this and got back to us and said that they, as a team, they all agreed, and it wasn't that much different than what they've been using. But because it's been mandated and there's specific language in it, and they also said it would be helpful in guiding them with displays and collections and, how to review and, reconsider materials. So we did get that feedback from the staff.
And Andrew, you won't be able to see this, I think, but we're going to, I think, we're going to start now with policy 6161.12 and the regulation, library material review and reconsideration. So I was wondering if I hear, well, we can wait. We'll just start discussing it. But I was wondering if you could put that up on the screen, Kate.
Yep, I'm going to try to find that one. It says regulations at the top.
It has
No.
I'm not
policy.
sure. It'd be the
It's
second
policy.
attachment that we got in the bundle.
Okay, I think it's this one. Hold on.
It says P 616112. Is that the one you're looking for, Mike?
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue. So that's the one.
So, and you have your packet in front of you, Andrea.
Is this it?
Okay.
Which one is it?
Policy
That's
6161.
it.
That's the correct
That's
one.
it, Kate.
Okay.
And this version has been changed very slightly from our first reading version. And it's in the, let me see if I can find it. It's in that first sentence, the second one. So if I read it, the Groton Board of Education Board understands that on occasion, a member of the public will wish to lodge a complaint against instructional material used in or available in the school library media center. That in or available in is a little awkward because used in used to say used in the classroom. And so we have another policy about that. So the classroom was removed, but I think we should also get rid of used in. And that's one thing that came out of the board meeting was to just to get rid of that in the classroom. So it's halfway there. I think we just need to get rid of used in or there. And that would be fine. So that's a minor
So-
edit.
So you would read it that material available in the school library media center, not used in. Just take out used in or.
Correct, because the
Yeah.
used in used to have the classroom, and we didn't want that because you have another policy already. So that was one thing. The other part was Dean had asked at the board meeting, there was no timeline for this. And that's actually, it's specified as 60 days by the new Public Act. And it is indeed here. We just have to scroll down to the next page, the regulation part of it.
Mhm.
And if you get, or maybe it keeps going. Is there, I thought there's a regulation attached to.
There is a regulation.
Oh, so it's the next. Oh, I can see it on the shared screen. It's the next tab over.
Oh, it's on the tab. Caitlin, if you can click on to the regulation tab.
Okay. I think
Thank
I
you.
stopped sharing to do that.
Oh, that's the part I don't have, Mike. I don't have the regulation. I only have the policy.
Okay, you'll see it. What it does is it outlines the complaint process and the composition of the review committee.
So we're looking for that 60-day timeline.
It's
for the
down lower,
regulation.
so we can scroll down.
It just
It's spelled out as 60. Yeah, just go down. Let's see. It's maybe it's down lower. There it is. Item 5,
Go back.
right there. Yeah. So the review
Oh,
committee
yeah,
makes
within
a written
60 days.
decision and
Got
goes
it.
on within 60 school days,
Got it.
Okay.
and that's law. Like that's what we need to have. So
Okay.
that
Yeah.
answers Dean's point.
Okay.
Mike, did this pass as a first read?
It did. This one passed as a first reading, and it was just
Okay.
these two changes was the time frame, which it actually had, but in the regulation, and then that not having the classroom.
Okay. I think when
So
we
to vote
originally
to a
got this
second.
policy, we didn't have the regulations because I'm looking in my original packet and I don't have the regulations. So I think that's why Dean asked that question.
Yeah, maybe so. And I will say that the CABE template doesn't break this up into policy and regulation, just has it all as policy. But my reading of the act is you just need to establish the process, and this has all the elements. It's
Right.
just that actually I kind of think it reads nicer as policy and regulation because
I know.
this is the specifics of what has to be followed, and I think people would be looking for that for different purposes than the overarching policy.
And when we have it both together, we like to send it to the board as a package deal.
Well, next time, I don't know, maybe you did and I just don't have it. But yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and I'll
okay.
say the other thing is this particular regulation, although we don't as a board typically change regulations, the superintendent administration will also be constrained to hold on to this because it really is word to word what the act requires. The act is very, very specific about the composition of the review committee and the timeline and the steps to be followed. So.
But thanks for looking into that act, Mike.
I have a feeling you already knew about it, Beth. We're just following your trail, and Susan knew too. But thank you. I was wondering if Andrea had any questions or comments?
Andrea,
No.
do you have any questions or comments? But we'll send it out to the board though, for Monday as a package deal. So we'll put the regulations with the policy. And we can,
Caitlin's note is that the mic has disappeared.
Oh.
And I don't know.
Can-
I got my computer back, but if they find out about the plugin, I'm in trouble. They'll probably take it away. But I don't know when Caitlin can she put back the mic and you know those icons that are missing.
I think she means be promoted. I have to stop sharing to do that. So I'm just
okay,
gonna-
she's going to stop sharing because we're in between now anyway. And she's going to put you on. And then once I've got you on the mic, I'll turn off the phone because you'll get feedback.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna hang up and then you can
Okay.
we can figure it out from there.
Okay, good. All right, thanks.
Andrea, can you hear us now?
She's on mute. Nope. Looks like you tried to unmute there. There you go.
Okay,
Yeah,
Hey, we
Good.
got you.
got you back. Good,
okay,
good.
thank you. And
Yeah.
if I get lost, hang on a minute, I'm gonna try to open up the screen. Okay, if I get lost, just call me back.
Got
Okay,
it.
I
All
will.
right, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Okay, thank you, bye. I'm
Bye.
so sorry. Thank you so much.
No, this is great. It's working out. And Kate will project the policy again, but the only change was from the first reading was the omission of the words classroom
Used
because
in the classroom.
or used in the classroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the same one I just had up or a different one?
Oh, you can just put the one you had up, just in case Andrea has any questions, because you probably couldn't see it in that interim time. Oh, so this is the regulation, and then I guess the
Go to the
policy.
first tab is the policy.
Sorry about that.
Mhm. There you go.
Yes. So the only change was on that second line, and it'll get changed a little more to make the wording correct, but there's removal of the phrase used in the classroom because there's another policy and everything else for the policy is the same. And then the regulation that is along with the answer to question that was raised at the main meeting, which was the time frame
Yeah.
for addressing complaint is 60 days. So I don't know if you have any other questions, but if you were for this before, then it's very similar to what it was last time.
And it actually has the forms too, Mike, that we thought were really necessary.
Yeah.
When you had a family that needed to request reconsideration
It's another one of these in that bag.
and a request for an appeal of reconsideration. So they're
Yeah.
there too.
Thank you. And- And so, Andrea, I'm going to move that we recommend policy 6161.12 library
Mhm.
material review and reconsideration
Yeah.
for a second reading
Yeah.
with the Board of Ed.
Yes, yes,
So, would you like to second that?
second.
Great. Is there any further discussion? Adrian, I see you there. I was wondering if you have any comments. Feel free. Anyone else?
No, I read over these and it's what we have to do anyway, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So let's not fight it. Let's just do it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Our
right.
library media specialist will very much appreciate this.
I agree. Okay, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Say aye.
Hi.
Aye. That's two of us. There's no one else, so 0 opposed and 0 abstaining.
You need
Uh,
this?
Great.
Yeah,
So
just
we're moving
leave.
along.
You should.
And the next item is policy 6161.13, library collection development and maintenance. This one in particular does overlap with a policy we do have on the books, 6163, and this is a newer version of it. The existing version, 6163, is quite good. It has many of the same elements, but this one is exactly aligned with the new law. So I think this is a case where
These.
our policies predated the state mandates, but we should have it entirely consistent, which is why this one's here.
So Mike, what would you recommend replacing the 6163.1 with this policy?
Yes, and so
Okay.
the motion that I would end up making is to, approve this. It would be for a first reading because this one failed. Approve this for a first reading to the Board of Ed and release or replace or sunset the 6163. I think it's 6163.1.
Right.
Actually.
Okay.
With this, so that we don't have like competing
Right.
policies on the book.
Policies. Yeah.
That sounds
Okay.
wise. Yeah.
And I don't know what's magic about the actual numbering, but I think we were just safer to keep it to what Cabe thinks the number should be in terms of like the policy number. I'm looking at the comments from the Board of Ed meeting. This one, this one did fail the first reading, as I said. And one main part was that, well, there's, I think actually I may have brought that up, that we had the existing policy, so there's a question of whether or not it was needed. And the policy committee, us now, would look into that, which we did. It is. And then also the concerns that this one and then the next one, but this one maybe says some things, but there's not much action to it. And indeed, if you read through the elements, everything that shows up here is true and good to affirm, but it's not actionable. I think the last part comes down in the next paragraph. There it is. So the board directs the superintendent, and this was brought out at the policy meeting and then at the board too, but the board directs the superintendent to create an administrative regulation that establishes a procedure for certified library media specialists to continually review the library, etc. And that's where we could bridge over to the regulations, because this regulation is an updated and probably by being updated an improved version of what we have now. So we
And
could.
can I tell you why they think this is so important? Because
Yeah.
when I first got here 12 years ago, those library budgets weren't even in their, in the site budget. So sometimes they could get antiquated. So there wasn't this process. So, or it wasn't always done depending on constraints on the budget, right? So the library media specialists really believe in this, that it needs to have this review and it needs to have this regulation so that they can cull a library and update it and do all of that.
Yeah, that's a good
Susan,
point. Oh, sorry.
No, I just got to ask Susan, you Mike, I didn't look it up, so I should know the answer, but I didn't look it up. I apologize. Is there a regulation already to this policy?
Too. We can
Okay.
actually switch the tab and show you too when we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a quick moment. I was wondering if Andrea had any questions about this policy, and I do want to say this is a good point by a superintendent and library specialist. That renewal puts it on par with any other curriculum
Right.
in this.
Mhm.
No, I have no questions.
All right, go
Did
for it. You can put up the regulation. We're clicking through. It's good.
Is this the right one?
616113
Yes.
regs.
Yeah.
Yes. That's it.
Good job, Caitlin.
Mhm.
Thank you, Caitlin.
You're welcome.
And it's very clear and specific about relevance, condition, physical condition. Making sure, sometimes we have lots of duplications, but sometimes those
So,
popular good books are good for duplications because they're always getting checked out.
so Susan, how do you know? I didn't read the regulations, so I apologize. So how do you know that the media specialists are reviewing all the library and other educational materials? Is there a form that they fill out, or how do you know they're actually doing it?
Well, I know that by how they're ordering during the year and how they look at those site budgets with their principals, how they, the past several years in a row, BAM Books has donated their summer collection, and our library media specialists go down and choose the books based on them going through their library orders. And they get these boxes and boxes of books free of charge from BAM Books. So they really work collaboratively as a team, especially the elementaries. And I've been in the library with them when they've been doing this, and they talk a lot about it. Making sure that they're refreshing, reviewing. And I see it even in the budget process, where in the beginning I didn't see that so much.
And so in the budget process, you're saying that you see it by them ordering new books?
Yeah, by the first of all, by the principal making sure that it's in their site budgets. And they go to the library media specialist who's gone through this review process and figured out what books they need, and I'll get the question too when they're ready to call the library, books, they have to follow the town charter when they're getting rid of books, right? That they have to be obsolete or they're going to be donated or something. So I'm just very aware of it. I mean, probably not every moment of it, but I'm just aware of it at different times of year when they're going through those things. And of course, when we closed 5 schools and opened 3 new ones, I was super aware of it because I saw all the boxes and all the work that was going into it. So. But I think this is pretty clear.
So these are the regs. I just want to make sure because I missed, because there was someone in my room. I missed, these are the regs. So this was for policy 6161.13.
That's correct.
Correct.
Do you want to
Okay.
look at the policy again?
I don't know if by Robert's rules, if I'm going to get shot if I said yes.
Oh, we're still on that policy. You can
We're
go.
still on it.
Oh, okay.
You're just because the regulations just is like a checklist that we, helps them to go through and call their libraries and do that review process.
Okay. I don't think
And
I
of
had
course,
any.
I had the library media specialist review this, and they said it works. It's very similar to what
Okay.
we have.
Good. Okay. So, so when we have time, I guess I still have a question about the policy.
Caitlin, can you switch over to the 616113 policy, please?
If you scroll down, Caitlin, to the bottom, I'm still on that. The board directs the superintendent to create an administrative regulation. I still have a problem with a policy directing, the board directing the superintendent. I think that that should be in regulations where it says the superintendent will create an administrative regulation, and that should be, in my view, that should be in regulations. That should not be a directive from the board in the policy.
I have seen in other policies, where, maybe not the board directs, but the superintendent will create an administrative regulation similar to what you've said.
Okay,
I'd be
And
fine
then,
with that
and then
word.
that comes next.
yeah. And I think if you just take out the board directs and just make it the superintendent to create, and I think I heard Mike, I think I heard you say that works.
Yeah, that'd be fine with me.
Okay, great, okay.
But I have seen language like what you've just suggested, Andrea, in other
Yeah.
policies. So if a regulation goes away, it's still in the policy.
Yeah, I'm fine with
So
that.
you can expect the regulation to follow.
Okay, great, okay. And then just, yeah, just take that out and make it the superintendent will create.
I'll show Erica tomorrow.
Great.
Okay,
That's a good change, and it's also good because now we can say when it goes back to the board that it's different version from what they voted
Yes.
on last time.
yes, yes.
So there you go. But in truth, the main thing is now we have a very clear understanding. I think that we'll be able to communicate about the requirement to do this and the urgency to adhere to that recent act.
Right. And why it's important, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
I can see why, I can
Yeah.
see why. Yeah,
So I'll make the motion here. The motion, I move that we approve sending policy and regulation 6161.13, library collection development and maintenance, to the Board of Ed for its first reading, and um, uh, replacing and retiring the older policy 6163.1 on the same topic.
do you need a second?
Yes,
Second,
great. Is there any further discussion or comments?
Mike, how's that last sentence gonna read on the first sentence in the last paragraph? The board,
I think it would just say the superintendent will create an administrative
okay,
regulation.
okay, thank you, Mike.
Any other comments? All right, I'll call the vote. All in favor, say aye.
hi,
Aye. That's 2-0. That passes, and we'll send it to the board for a first reading, and also recommend the retirement of 6163.1. I'll see those numbers in my sleep. All right. We'll move on to the next one. And this is a discussion on policy 6161.14, library display and program policy. This is the shortest of the three. I think it'll fit on one screen. And it does not have a corresponding regulation. This is it. And this failed its first reading, as I've said before, with the Board of Ed. And the main comment was, and I think that came in from the policy committee too, is, well, this doesn't create any new actions.
Right.
So it's got 3 paragraphs. One is saying how important library displays and student programs are, which we would agree with. I think many people would, most people would. And then the next one is saying how important it is in terms of the many ways it can influence students and enhance their education. And then the third paragraph is about really the recognized importance of school librarian media specialists. And they're subject experts.
Yeah.
And so that's what this policy is. There's no corresponding regulation, as I said. There is a specific requirement in this Act number 25-168, which we have to have a policy on library display and program policy. If we didn't have the requirement, personally, I think we could just fold it into the last one we were just talking about. But that's not what they're looking for. So this is, I see it as an affirmative statement that in the current political climate might be well heard.
Right.
Right. And
Right,
this is a
let's
policy
shout out.
that we have. This is a policy, Mike, that we have to have. So
Yes, have to have it, and we don't have anything like it. And so even though it says something important, it just doesn't do anything new because we're already doing this stuff.
That's right. I was going to say that, Mike. I was just at Groton Middle with the lieutenant governor and with the coding class, and Veronica, who's the library media specialist. It's just such an inviting library media center for middle school kids. And I was just noticing all her displays. And same thing for Liz Ann now up at the high school. The high school, now that Liz Ann is there full time, it's just amazing how it draws you in. And I think it makes a difference for our kids to want to read, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. And this does convey, by having it separate, conveys that, library isn't just about books. It's about its programming and everything,
that's right.
everything within the library itself.
Right.
And the only thing I have to say is that I'm going to say the same thing I said before. I know we have to do it, and we're just going to do it. However, it doesn't say anything. It does not say anything. I don't see it as policy in any way. It just says, yeah, we know that you got to have displays and they got to be good and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And we appreciate everybody. Thank you very much. And that's what it says. That's not policy to me. But I know we got to do it, so we'll do it.
It does say that we're promoting free expression and free access to ideas by students. I hope that doesn't offend anybody.
Yeah,
We're
right.
spreading goodwill through this policy.
Well, yeah.
We'll just say that. But it's not a heavy hitter.
No, it's not. It's not anything to lose sleep over.
Okay. I just wanted to go on record. That's all.
Yeah. So Andrea, would you like to move that we approve policy 6161.14 library display and program policy for its first reading to the Board of Education?
So moved.
I second. Any further discussion? All right, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
There's 2 in favor. There's no one else to vote, so none opposed and none abstaining. So that passes 2-0-0. The next item on the agenda is review the referral tracking list. I've literally never looked at this for policy, so if you've got it to put up, Kate, I'd like to see it. I've got an idea of some of the things coming up. Yeah, Beth.
What happened to and I was wondering why Anne Marie left. What happened to the student attendance policy? Was that approved as a second reading? Because I have it as a first read, but it's not on this agenda.
I believe you to be probably right on that. I fast forwarded through that part of the board meeting to get to the other stuff today. So if it is only at that first reading stage, which you're probably right, then it really should come up at the next meeting.
Yeah.
The right one?
The attendance policy.
No,
Yeah.
this is the referral list.
Oh, but Bev was bringing up that, we went through this agenda and she was expecting to see the attendance policy, but not there.
Yeah. Not there. I wrote it in the email also that about the attendance policy, but I guess they didn't see that when I wrote it in the email about the attendance policy. But that's okay. Next month you could put it on your agenda.
I thought we were done with attendance.
We'll find out.
What do I don't know if we had a second reading on this.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, here's our
It's
referral.
actually crossed out though on the thing. Did you see all the red marks on the tracker?
We'll check it out and make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we did. Okay.
I'll ask. I'll look at it. You're coming in tomorrow with Adrian anyway, so we can look
I'm
at
coming
our
in by
agenda
myself
for next
tomorrow.
week. What's that?
I'm coming in by myself.
Okay, 2:00.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we can look at the referral list from the bottom up. That last one, that modify policy 6141 in regards to the 6 steps, that's our what we talked about first tonight. And I think as far as we're concerned, since it's a second reading, that's probably done for us. So we could write in that that's completed today. But we'll see. I guess we should wait for the regular meeting to finish that up. But that last item
Yeah.
is we're probably done with.
Yep. Because you never know, Mike.
Exactly. Anchor's board members, like me. And then the next one, review financial reconciliations policy on a monthly basis. I think that's to be able to have the financial reconciliations be on a monthly basis. And we're supposed to look at that policy. Bev, I see your initials there. Do you have a read on what that is?
Yeah. That's because we were not doing the reconciliations on a monthly basis, as you know, from the operational review recommendations. So the town manager suggested to me that we have a policy that we are actually doing this on a monthly basis.
I think we have a policy and we are now doing it. But I'll double check with Erica to see if there's anything on the books and we can review it and see.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
because you said
great.
that before, so let's see if we actually have a policy already.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if it's convenient this week, if you could just
Yeah.
if you find out the policy number,
I will.
send
Yeah.
it to us, and then we can put it on for sometime this year, because I think that'd be it's probably pretty close to what we need already, but we should take a look at it in
Yeah.
light of the operational review. And then the other one that's not crossed off is discussion re policy 1312 and 1312.4, public/anonymous complaint process and procedure. This is from Ian Thomas. I could see that coming up this year as well. I feel like there's also some other policies that just went through first read. My mind's blanking on that right now. Like over the last couple of months, I didn't think we were through everything at second read.
So I'm going to have
Yeah.
Erica through all of our agendas and minutes and just see if there's anything else, like Beverly found these few that we had kind of stalled on, just to get us a list if there's anything else incomplete.
Okay.
And Susan, you're probably right. We probably did do the attendance policy, because I was looking back on the regular board meeting for September 22nd. So I didn't look forward after that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll double check.
And that my
Okay,
recollection,
thank you.
that's an important update that came from the state, right? So that should be
What
good.
the attendance policy?
Yeah, I think so. The new parts of it.
Okay. But that's something that when we met with the GEA, they asked us to put more teeth in the attendance policy. And you could see that we had an attendance issue. So they wanted more teeth in that policy. And that's why I brought that forward.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see where that is, as long as it's coupled with
Okay.
understanding, which it has been, I think. So we're almost ready to cross off the last one on the list, but not yet. And we've kind of bridged into the next item on the agenda, future meeting topics. Obviously, if there's anything that has at the first reading stage that needs to go second reading, by the time we meet, we'll put those up as
I
priority.
think Rita has a couple suggestions too. Whether it's come out through the review or she's seen things that she feels need to come to your attention. So I will talk to her tomorrow just to see if we have a list of, so that we can ask you, which ones you think we should add.
Yeah,
So-
thank you for that. Any other future meeting topics, Andrea or Bev or
No.
anybody?
No,
No. Well done, Mike. 7:09.
yes,
There we go.
thank you.
We can't finish without Andrea's involvement.
Oh.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Absolutely.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second,
Okay, thank you again.
we're adjourned. Thank you all.
Good meeting.
That was productive. I appreciate